I had a dream the other night about a friend, and I told this friend about it later, but it struck me as not just for that friend, but it could be for any devotee and disciple. And in the dream, she had a huge mansion, like enormous, and everything anybody could ever want was there. And the thing I remembered the most was very thick curtains. Like I could barely move them. They were they were embroidered and just very beautiful and expensive and heavy. And I remember going up to her in the windows and saying, "You just gotta open these curtains, these drapes. You're not getting any light." And I thought later, isn't this how we are? We're living in this room, in this temple, in this body, but the drapes are closed to the light. And we maybe parted a little bit, then we close them back, and a little bit, and then we close them back. And a new beginning, a new year, is about opening up to the light. And think about, in your own consciousness, opening up to joy, opening up to peace, opening up to light, opening up to blessings, opening up. Because people just say, well, something will happen, maybe it'll happen, but it doesn't happen because the consciousness, the heart, our energy, or whatever is closed, and the blessings are flowing. One disciple said to Yoganandaji, "Master, I don't feel you as much as this other person does." He says, "If you shut the door, how can I come in?" And isn't it the truth? If we don't open ourselves, no matter what year it is, no matter what month, no matter what day it is, nothing will happen. And so I wanted to share with you my experience of being with a great master, a teacher, a master, my own Swami Kriyanandaji. Our guru is Paramahansa Yoganandaji, but many of us were blessed with living near with Swami Kriyanandaji. And I did for many decades. And I had one thought of what I share with you, but then another thought, and it came share. How did Swamiji have us opening those drapes? What did he tell us? What were the main teachings? What were the main things of training that he gave us to be able to open our consciousness and awaken and uplift our energy? There were specific things. And so this evening, I want to share those with you as we go into the new year. What will help us? People make New Year's resolutions, nothing happens, I'm going to diet, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and nothing happens. After 3-4 days, I've finished the diet. And I finished now, the attitude's gone, So I want to give some real things you can take, and you can hold them, and you can work on them, and you can offer them to God and gurus so that you and I can be able to open up to the ever-flowing Shakti, the grace, the blessings of God and these masters. And the first thing I want to say is that Swamiji instilled very strongly, and it's something that's not a side thing, no matter if you're here for one day or you're here for the rest of your life, is sadhana. Offer yourself to God in sadhana. Meditate. Meditation is seek ye first the kingdom of God. Everything. And I see people, they know I'm seeking job first. No, I seek health first. No, I'm going to seek friends. No, I'll get married first. It never pans out. But if we meditate at least some every day, and I recall, we had meditations guided by Swami Kriyanandaji. He was there. He wasn't saying, you go meditate over there. He said we had Kriya meditations, Kriya checking, Kriya reviews. Kriya Yoga is the highest technique of our path. We had many meditations, long Christmas meditations, 3-hour meditations, 2-hour meditations, and he instilled in us, you must do it yourself. You can't say, Guruji is going to do it. Well, I haven't seen that happening. So sadhana, keep your meditation solid, like a rock. And that means this can wait, that can wait. My search for God, it can't wait. And have times when you're alone. And I know this isn't something people like to hear so much, anybody, but particularly I think here is being by yourself in solitude. I had a day this week. I came here and I said, I want one day alone. I can't give anything to anybody unless I give to myself. And I had that day, it was just so wonderful. I can't say enough to you to do it, to put aside the computer and the phone and all these things and say, no, one day I'm going to talk to God. I'm going to WhatsApp to Divine Mother, nobody else. And then you just refill yourself. Otherwise, there's restlessness, there's worries, there's fears. Oh, I don't have time. Well, Master said, if Divine Mother didn't have time for you and stopped ticking in your heart, you would be gone. And so make the time. If it's half a day, but every week, do a longer sadhana, do yoga postures, do energization, get a harmonium, start chanting, and just feel, my life, I came for God. And she has provided me with all these things that help me to be able to keep my mind uplifted, to keep my body strong, to feed my family, to take care of. But my sadhana is absolutely a must. And remember that. And the second is devotion. That devotion, you can't take a step on the spiritual path. Swamiji himself was very intellectual. He came to his guru, and Master said, you must get devotion. You're going to have a long, hard path. And I see people trying to figure it out. What does that mean? What did he say? They're just totally confused. And I know Swamiji said a beautiful thing. He said, as I learned to love my guru, all the doubts went away. Isn't it so? As I learned to love my guru. And when Dr. Lewis, his first Kriya yogi, came to Yoganandaji, he asked him, Master asked him, will you love me? First meeting, as I will always love you. And Dr. Lewis said, he didn't know what to say in the beginning, but he said, you see, I could feel the love. So I said, yes. Can you not feel the love? It was a friend of mine, it was their birthday some time back, this a week or so, and at Ananda, we're used to a loving environment. You know, I come here and these guys pick me up and we go out and, we're used to this vibration of loving environment, and this person wasn't. So I said, oh, it's your birthday, we're going to have this and we'll have a lunch and we'll get a cake and, then, we surprised the person with gifts, and they were like, oh, really? And I said, at Ananda, we're used to love. The love of the guru, the love of our guru bhais. Somebody's in the hospital, we go. We stand by their bed. We pray for them. Somebody needs food, we take it. This is a loving environment. And it's not enough to say, I'm devotional to God. You have to have devotion that is spreading to your family, your loved ones, the people at work. They should feel that from you. And wherever I go, people look at me and they say, well, where is she from? And I've been there 15 years now, and now I can speak Hindi. Not tonight. but everybody I see, I speak Hindi to them at the airport, wherever I go, the store, whatever, and they just go, oh, ma'am, where are you from? Now, why do I speak Hindi to them? Because I want to give them energy. It's not, I want to see if they understand me. I mean, I'm trying to reach them. Why did I learn Hindi? I want to reach people. I don't want to stay stay behind a wall. And so giving an energy out as you meet people. I see people just, looking the other way and going, oh, no, but Swamiji taught us how to love. It's so beautiful. And everybody who knew him, they felt that love. The people in the shops in Gurgaon, many of you, Shivani, Damodar, different ones, those shops, they still ask. I go there, they want to hear about Swamiji's life. Tell us something. Tonino's restaurant, tell us, when he passed away, the whole place, they all came out and listened to stories of Swamiji. And you understand? There was love. And so devotion, love, I recall when we lived in Italy, when we first went there, we did our work like here in India, some of us, and we didn't meditate a lot. I was used to more meditation and a chant maybe, and then the meditation. And then there, people were new, so they were just arriving. They didn't know anything about meditation, so you had to chant a lot and meditate a little. And so I went to Swamiji complaining, and I said, oh, Swamiji, we don't even get a chance, like for me, we don't even get a chance to meditate here. I said, all we do is chant. He says, you need to chant. I loved it, and I thought, me? I'm devotional. And then he said to the whole group of us, and some people were more devotional than I was, and he said, I brought each one of you here so that you could open your hearts. I went, me? He's not talking to me. But he was talking to me. I spent 7 years in a devotional country, and I opened up more and more and more. And that was the times before Netflix and, all these movies that you can see online and everything. And so there was no television monitor, nothing, no laptop. This was in the 80s. And what did people do at night? Chant, chant, and chant. Every room chanting. Everybody's room was, every devotee was chanting. And Swamiji said, this is what I want to hear in this ashram, chanting. And it's so beautiful. And then all the distractions came in. I can also do this, and I can also do that, and I can get a big screen, and I can watch movies, and the chanting just started. And does that happen in your life? The chanting started going down. But you can't allow that. You have to lift the drape. And say, no, I got a harmonium. I'm going to play that harmonium. So devotion, and Swamiji was more devoted than anybody I ever met. He was full of love, and he was brilliant. His talks went over my head for years. I don't know what he said, but it sounded great. but he was so he loved God. And I remember I used to in Italy share a wall with him, his apartment and my room. And at every night you'd hear him, every night, chanting, weeping. I learned how to chant through listening to him through that wall. And I would be asleep, and then I wake up, oh my God. So I'd sit up, and I just were mesmerized. Chanting isn't just going on and on. It just goes to the point where you just can't say another word. So beautiful, isn't it? And so devotion is one. Another is making friends. Now this was something you think, well, that's not a spiritual quality. Well, it surely is. You can't make friends with people. How are you going to make friends with God? I just have so many, acquaintances and that's it. No, friendship, putting the energy out of divine friendship. Every person, most people, I should say, at Ananda village felt Swamiji was their best friend. And I'm seeing heads go, he was their best friend. And he was supportive, encouraging. There was a time this man had been drinking, and he lived in the community, and Swamiji knew. He didn't say anything to him. I'm sure he was praying for him. So the man came and had a talk with Swamiji, and he was inebriated. And Swamiji told us this story in a big meeting, but he didn't say anybody's name. And he said, and the person came and he talked with him, and he knew the guy was drunk, but he didn't say anything. And he said he heard him outside leaving and bumping around the trees and the bushes and, everything, trying to make his way. But he said, I just supported him. I knew he would get better. Isn't that a beautiful story? I knew. Instead of, oh, this, that. Being a friend. And I will tell you another beautiful story. As I said, everywhere he went, he had friends. And there was one time Swamiji wanted to, maybe I told you all this, but it's worth saying again the new year. He wanted to buy a chair, a comfortable chair. Did I tell you this story before? It's a wonder. I love it. Wonderful story. But he wanted to buy a comfortable chair. This was in Italy. So he went with the manager, and the manager always is, the manager is the saving, and is this the right place? And so he goes with the manager of Ananda Sizi to this shop that they had gone to many times. And Swamiji liked the shop. He liked the man. And he liked what he had. And so he went there. He tried a couple of chairs. And he said, oh, yeah, I like this chair right here. And the fellow, the manager, said, oh, Swamiji, this is kind of costly. Let's go. I know a better store where it's cheaper. Let's go over there. And Swamiji, he didn't want to go, but, he said, okay, all right, let's go. So he goes to the other store, and there's the same chair. Swamiji's in the chair, and he sees the manager, sees the price, and he says, see, I told you, this is cheaper. And Swamiji said, yes. And he said, we need to buy from here because this is cheaper. And Swamiji's answer is just priceless. He said, but the other man is my friend. How many people do you know who respond like that? The other man is my friend. I'm going to buy from him. And in your dealings with people, don't always think, oh, I get the best price, it's cheap, Even remember Master went to that store and he was bargaining with the store owner about, what was a cane or something? He was bargaining with them, and then after he bargained, he gave the man more money. Didn't he give him more money? And then the man said, oh, you're a gentleman, I'll give you a cane or an umbrella or something. So he gives it to Master. The Master goes back to Mount Washington, I think he was there, and he says, oh, he had such a poor floor, linoleum floor. I think I'll buy him a carpet. So he buys him a carpet. He pays more. He gives the man more money than he's supposed to give, and he buys him a carpet. So think about the energy that's going out and coming back, not just, oh, you get this, oh, I beat him. Why? Do you want to get end of life? I beat them. I guess that's not the point. Master bargained the way he needed to, then he gave the man more. You just got to love that. It's such a beautiful story. And the next point is energy, that he was full of energy. And I see young people these days that are bent over and, Janaji, I said, what happened to you? I mean, I'm like 40 years older than you. And look at you. I don't know what to do with my life. And but, Master would come out. How feels everybody? How is everybody? He was always, and some of us here were on Master's diet, isn't it so? Many of you here were on Master's diet, and 9-day diet, brutal, but a good diet. And so, it purifies you. But did you not learn to live not by bread alone? That's from the Bible. Man shall not live by bread alone. and you just can feel the energy and it's coming into you every day stronger and more energetic and more magnetic. And this is what I felt. At the end of the 9 days, it was like soaring. Instead of, oh God, where's the next meal? Oh, I got to have some chai. Is there food? You know, it's like there's energy flowing. You feel so good. And Swamiji taught us, keep your energy high. Don't let it drop down. If you need to rest, rest. But get up and keep the energy flowing. And I remember many a long program, like a long Kriya weekend or various things we had. And by the end, like the walkathon, which, by the way, I will be here for the walkathon this year, and I plan to come every year from here on and walk with Blazy. And so, where was I? Anyway, so after the long weekend or whatever, I mean, you think at least you're dead tired. You just think, just let me rest, let me go to bed. Swamiji, let's go for dinner. And oh no, no dinner, I just want to sleep. But what was he doing? He was not letting your energy sink down and say, oh, I'm so tired. If you keep the energy up and go to bed, that's good, but oh God. So every time the phone would ring, you go, oh no, because he had another idea. So think about that. It's a gift. When, after the walkathon, I mean, don't fall apart. Just say, no, I have energy. Energy's everywhere. I'm living in a sea of energy. And go into the year with, I am energy. And not, oh God, I'm weak and I'm tired and all of that. But I am energy. It's just a wonderful, wonderful way to live. Another one is attunement. Attunement, Swamiji said, Master talked with us about attunement more than anything. Be in tune. I remember once I was going through a struggle, and everybody goes up and down, various things, isn't it so? And I was looking at this picture of Master on my altar, and I was thinking, to him, why is my life such a mess? What happened? How come these things are happening to me? And we always say, oh, it's somebody else's fault. But the other day, something came in my mind that, no, that's not the right way to think. It's your own karma. And I went, really? But it is. You think about something you've been struggling with, no, that was that person's fault, or my boss didn't, why did he say that, or that person didn't do it right. But no, it's your own karma. You're working it out. But anyway, I was saying that, what was this topic? I forgot already. The attunement. So Swamiji would keep you, he would just keep you in attunement. How? Reading, coming to satsangs, doing yoga postures, doing seva, coming in the group, chanting. All of these things keep you in attunement. And as you are in attunement, then everything in your life improves. And I'm sure I'll get back on that topic in a moment, because there was something else I wanted to share with you about that. But I know what it was. So I looked at the picture, and I was asking Master, what happened? and it was so clear in my mind. What station are you tuned to? Wow. You mean me? It's not that? No, it's you. What station are you tuned to? Isn't that amazing? And it was like, if you're way over here, of course, that's all you're going to get is the static. People don't like you. You don't get the opportunities. Your bank account runs dry. You hit a car. I mean, different things happen. But the devotee, the disciple, just keeps trying to keep getting in tune, more and more and more. How do you know if you're in tune? There's joy, there's energy, there's opportunities, maybe not opportunities, but whatever's happening, you just feel like, great! It's not heavy, this heavy feeling about everything. And so Swamiji offered that, be in tune. Okay, I'll make sure I'm covering all of these. Another one is joy. I'm almost done, doctor. So another one, I really wanted to give a class, but there was too many things going on. Another one.
You can go till 7:45. That's
Really?
what we do. Yes.
Okay. So another one was joy. That Swamiji lived a joyful life. We didn't, you never saw people walking around, and you don't see people here. Yeah, I'm on the path. I'll tell you, it's rough. I mean, you saw people were joyful, and he was joyful. And that, have you heard his P.G. Woodhouse stories? He would read those to us. So if it ever got too tense and too tight, in the community, he would say, time for P.G. Woodhouse, time for a story. And so we'd all come and he'd read. And the best part was hearing him laugh. His laughter, if you can get those those tapes, his laughter is just amazing. I mean, you laugh because he's laughing. But he was just so full of joy. And he didn't want us to be, brainy yogis, like, you can never smile and you can never say anything, and I'm just going to use my will. And I used to be like that. That's why I can say it. And when I got with him, he said, what happened to you? I remember one time he looked at me, he said, it was like, do you energize? Like, you're just too tense. And I said, not really, Swamiji. And he said, you just got to do it, energize, But he was always trying to get you to be more natural. One time I was serving at the Sangha office, and people were calling. It was the main office at Ananda village. People would call for lessons and whatever. So I was the main person answering the phone. So I answered the phone like I did at a corporate. Hello, this is Dhyana ji. How can I help you? And it was Swamiji on the phone. He said, "Who is this?" It was like too tense. And so he wanted people to feel natural. Let joy flow through you. Be happier and be with happier people. Come here. This is a happy place. And you can just feel it. But if the person gets too, I am the best and I meditate and it's all ego. It has to be a natural flow. There's time to be deeply serious. There's time to be joyful. There's time to be serviceful. All of these things. And the next one I'll talk about is selflessness and service. And some of you I haven't seen till today, so I have to explain this more. But if you can, Master said to be in tune with me, him, meaning serve my work. And who doesn't feel more energy, more joy, more magnetism, more attunement as they serve? Who doesn't? Everybody does. And so there's a man at our center, and I'm seeing people who serve for the most part, as I can see here. It's so important. But, it was Christmas Day. I was in Gurgaon. And one of the members, his son, I told you this story today, Seema, his son has leukemia. So his name is Kamal Chawla. So his son's been in and out of the hospital getting treatments for months now, and wonderful family. And so Kamal usually was our Santa Claus, past years. And he's very jolly and all. So then nobody really wanted to ask him. And his son's in the hospital. And so I don't know who asked him, but somebody ended up asking him. And he came. He came to the Christmas celebration. There were 35 children there. And he walks in with the Santa suit, and ho, 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 and all that. He had chocolates. Every child he was putting in the children's laps. And those children were mesmerized. I was saying before, do we have to have a Santa? And they said, yes, we do. And one of the children, I was so taken by this was my answer. One of the children went up to Santa and said, I saw you at my house this morning. Did you come to my house this morning? And Santa said, yes, I did. The little guy was like 3 or 4 or something. I saw you at my house this morning. And that was Master telling me, Santa's necessary. These children, they were all there. They had their little Santa, their elf hats on, and they were helping. And then I told this fellow, I just said, God bless you. You had your own struggles at home, and you came anyway. And I said, the joy you spread around to those children, and the big, old and young, I said, what a blessing. He wasn't thinking about himself, myself, my family, my child, all the joy he spread to everybody. Of course, now where's that going to go? Back. He will receive the blessings. And, and he said it was a joy to do it. So let's take this principle, selflessness, serve. Someone's asking you to come to the walkathon, make sandwiches at 3 a.m. Isn't that what happens? Whatever. Just get into it and be happy to have the privilege of serving. It's just a wonderful thought. And finally, the last one is gratitude. I heard Swamiji say this on one of his talks, that gratitude is a sign of refinement. Isn't that beautiful? People who are grateful, and who say they're grateful, it's a sign of refinement. And just being grateful for everything, not, oh, I got this, I got more salary, I'm not grateful for this, but, not that. It's, no, everything that comes, I'm happy. The wife of Ramakrishna, Sharda Devi, said, for a devotee who's on a spiritual path, maybe if there's their karma to break a leg, maybe they'll get a scratch. People get the scratch and they go, wait, I get a scratch. Just be grateful. So many things could have happened. And they, behind the scenes, they did happen. But the gurus are shoveling the karma away and saying, okay, just take this much. This is all you need. And the rest, I'll take care of it. And so just being grateful. I remember when the meditation temple burned down at Ananda village. And Swamiji had helped to build that. Everybody thought, oh, Swamiji's going to be so sad. And, so they were just tiptoeing around him kind of. And that night he was lying in a sleeping bag on the ground. And Jyotishji went over and he thought, oh, God, you have to comfort Swamiji. And he got near him and all he could hear was Swamiji saying, joy, 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 joy. And Swamiji said later, I built it for Divine Mother. He said, I gave it to you, Divine Mother. If you take it down, it's up to you. And he wasn't attached. And he went to the nearby store just the next day or something, and he was singing. And the store owner said, how can you be singing? Didn't your temple just burn down? And he said, I lost a temple. I didn't lose my voice. Isn't that beautiful? I didn't lose my voice. And she said, when my house burned down, I was crying for 8 months or something like that. But it came from your own karma and what you needed to grow. And the last story I'll share is when someone reminded me they were going up to Lake Tahoe to ski, I think, or Squaw Valley. And Swamiji's cars were bald, and there was snow, and so at a certain point, the car, there were Jyotish and David Ji and several other people were in the car. So they caught some ice, and the car just started spinning, 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 spinning. And then suddenly the car ran into a big bus right next door. I mean, not next door, right next to it, a big bus. And Swamiji said he said, no dent in the bus, but the car was completely finished. But he said after that, they got the tow truck and everything, to get the car taken care of. And then he says, look, that bus is going just where we want to go. And everybody said, what do we do? He said, get on the bus. So everybody in the car gets on the bus. They didn't go, oh, God, we got to go home. Now it's a disaster. They get on the bus. And a lady says there, isn't that your car over there? And he said, yeah. And she said, aren't you upset about that? And he said, why would I be upset for 2 weeks? If maybe I'd be upset or something like that for 2 weeks. I'm going to be happy right now. Why not be happy now? And everybody on the bus, they just couldn't believe it. These are life principles. It's not something you just make a little New Year's resolution and you hope it works out. These are life principles. If you can take even one, say, I'm taking sadhana. No, I'm going with devotion. No, I'm going with being friends with people. No, I'm going to go with attunement. No, I'm going to go with service and seva, whichever. But open those drapes, those curtains, and let the light, this year, just say, I'm going to let the light come in and flood my life and make a change. God bless you all. 1937, New Year's message to students and friends from Paramahansa Yogananda Ji. The new year has come to greet you with new hopes, new determination, new will to achieve new activities. In the temple of the new year, renew your reverence for the unlimited hidden power of God within you. The trails of trials and the yawning chasms of woe have been left behind in the dark night of the past. Now you are entering the daylight of a newborn hope of the new year. Cast off the coil of the decayed thoughts of the past years. Be reincarnated into vital living of the new year. Every regret for shattered hopes of success must be transformed into the joy of new achievements during the new year. Old sorrows and disappointments must be buried beneath the sepulcher of the past year. Those dark bandits of discouragement must not remain any longer to steal the wealth of your desire to succeed. Every day in the new year must become an altar for the God of new living, new achievements and wisdom, and new joy. Every day in the new year must bring hope and cheer to yourself and to all humanity. May the new year spread the example and message of your renewed life and renewed power unto all creation. Om Shanti Shanti.